Hello everyone, Dr. Mandell here. If your eyes feel tired, blurry, dry, or your night vision isn't what it used to be, there's one powerful food that can nourish your retina, protect your macula, and support sharper vision, and all it takes is 1 spoon a day. Today I'm going to show you how this single food can instantly support better eyesight, the science behind why it works, and the best ways to use it safely in your daily routine. Every single day your eyes fight a silent battle. One you never get to see, but one you feel the moment your vision becomes blurry, strained, or dry. Behind every blink is a world of microscopic cells, nerves, and fragile tissues that depend on one thing to stay alive: omega-3 fatty acids. And yet, a staggering percentage of people walk around unknowingly deficient in this essential nutrient. Modern diets flooded with processed foods drown us in inflammatory omega-6 oils, choking the delicate balance our eyes desperately depend on. Today, you're about to discover why 1 spoon of a simple, inexpensive food, flaxseed, can deliver one of the purest plant sources of omega-3s, and how this single daily habit can begin transforming your vision from the inside out. To understand the power of this nutrient, imagine your eye not as a simple organ, but as a living camera. The retina is the film, the optic nerve is the wiring, and the tear film is the protective lens. Now imagine that the wiring begins to fray, the film becomes damaged, and the protective lens starts drying out. That's exactly what happens when your body doesn't receive enough omega-3 fatty acids. What scientists have discovered is nothing short of eye-opening. Omega-3s don't just support eye health, they're foundational to it. They are literally built into your retina. The retina, the piece of tissue that allows you to see the world, is packed with these fats. When researchers examined the eye at a molecular level, they found that DHA and ALA, 2 forms of omega-3s, make up the structural building blocks of the photoreceptor cells that convert light into vision. Without these fats, your retinal cells weaken. They become less efficient. They begin to dry, crack, and malfunction the same way a machine breaks down when its most essential lubricant runs dry. This is why eye dryness, blurry vision, and irritation are often the earliest signs of omega-3 deficiency. And here's the shocking part. Researchers estimate that nearly 70% of people worldwide are not getting adequate omega-3 intake. That means millions of eyes waking up every morning with less lubrication, less moisture, and less protection than they need. This is where flaxseed becomes extraordinary. Just 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed contains a concentrated dose of alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, a powerful plant-based omega-3 that your body converts into the same retinal protective fats found in fish. Scientists have repeatedly confirmed that ALA reduces inflammation in the delicate tissues of the eye, particularly the cornea and the optic nerve. Eye inflammation is not something you feel directly, but you see its effects everywhere: discomfort, redness, dryness, and slow visual focus. In 1 clinical study, patients who consumed higher amounts of omega-3 fatty acids showed significantly better tear production. Their eyes became naturally lubricated, not temporarily soothed by artificial drops, but repaired from within. The tear gland itself became healthier, producing smoother, more stable tears that allowed the eye to stay hydrated. It's almost as if the omega-3s switch on a natural irrigation system inside the body, hydrating the eyes from the inside rather than masking symptoms from the outside. Scientists also discovered that omega-3s help strengthen the lipid layer of the eye's tear film, the topmost layer responsible for preventing moisture from evaporating too quickly. A weak tear film causes irritation, redness, burning, and blurred vision, especially during screen time. But when omega-3 levels are restored, the tear film becomes thicker and more stable, giving the eye a soothing, silky comfort that often feels noticeable within hours. But omega-3s don't stop at lubrication. Their deeper power lies in inflammation control. Inflammation is the root cause behind some of the most devastating eye conditions, including macular degeneration. This disease doesn't strike overnight. It begins slowly, silently, with tiny inflammatory signals that eat away at the retina over years. And here's the truth that medical journals confirm: people with higher omega-3 levels have a significantly lower risk of developing macular degeneration. That's because omega-3s protect the retina the way armor protects a soldier. They reinforce the structure of retinal cells, neutralize harmful molecules, and slow down the aging of the eye. One study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that individuals who regularly consumed omega-3 fatty acids had up to a 40% lower risk of age-related macular degeneration. This is not a supplement. This is not a drug. This is a nutrient found naturally in food. And flaxseed, something sitting on shelves in grocery stores for just a few dollars, is one of the richest plant-based sources on the planet. The magic of flaxseed lies in its purity. Unlike fish oil, which is often contaminated with mercury or oxidizes quickly, flaxseed delivers clean, stable, antioxidant-rich omega-3s. And when you take it daily, your body begins using every molecule to rebuild your eyes. At the cellular level, omega-3s restore flexibility to the cell membranes inside the retina. They help improve blood flow to the tiny capillaries that nourish the macula. They soften stiffness in the vasculature that feeds the optic nerve. Enhanced circulation means more oxygen, more nutrients, and faster repair. Imagine tiny rivers inside your eyes becoming unclogged, flowing freely again, carrying life to tissues that have been starving for years. That's what happens when you replenish omega-3 levels. Vision becomes clearer because the eye is no longer struggling to function on depleted fuel. Colors appear sharper because retinal cells communicate more efficiently. Night vision improves because the rods in the retina begin receiving the fatty acids they need to properly process low light. And here's something even more remarkable. Omega-3s have been shown to improve nerve conduction speed. Think of this as improving the speed at which the visual world is transmitted to your brain. Faster nerve conduction means less eye strain, less fatigue, and clearer visual processing. But the emotional truth is this: people don't lose their vision overnight. They lose it slowly, day by day, blink by blink, until one morning they realize things aren't as crisp as they used to be. Most people never connect that progression to a simple nutrient deficiency. They assume aging is inevitable, but science proves otherwise. Your eyes are not failing because they want to. They're failing because they're starving. Flaxseed gives them the nourishment they've been missing. And all it takes is 1 spoon a day, a small habit with a profoundly large impact. When you take that 1 spoon, you're not just adding nutrition to your routine. You're giving your eyes the lubrication they crave, the anti-inflammatory support they need, and the structural building blocks they're made of. You're choosing to fight degenerative decline instead of letting it win. You're choosing to protect your vision, your ability to read, drive, create, recognize faces, see the world before it's too late. This is the power of omega-3s. This is why flaxseed is not just food. It's eye protection in its purest form, and 1 tablespoon a day is all your eyes need to start repairing, restoring, and seeing the world with greater clarity than before. Every moment you open your eyes, they are exposed to a world filled with invisible forces that slowly wear them down. Light, screens, pollution, stress, each one releases tiny unstable molecules called free radicals. These molecules strike the delicate tissues of your eyes like microscopic bullets, damaging the retina, weakening the macula, and speeding up the aging of the very cells responsible for your sight. Scientists have a name for this process: oxidative stress, and it is one of the most destructive forces behind vision loss. But there is one natural compound, something quietly hidden inside a simple seed, that has the power to neutralize these destructive forces before they can steal your vision away. These compounds are called lignans, and flaxseed contains more of them than almost any other food on earth. To understand why lignans are so powerful, you first need to picture what your eyes endure every single day. When you stare at a screen, blue light penetrates deep into the retina, triggering oxidative reactions that break down cellular DNA. When you walk outside, ultraviolet light slices through protective layers of the eye and generates more free radicals. And as you age, your natural antioxidant defenses begin to collapse. The retina, which has one of the highest metabolic demands of any tissue in the body, becomes overwhelmed. Its cells tire, they weaken, they fail. This is the root of countless vision disorders. But lignans act like a shield, absorbing, neutralizing, and disarming free radicals before they can cause irreversible damage. Scientists discovered that lignans have one of the strongest antioxidant capacities of any plant compound. In laboratory studies, these molecules were able to reduce oxidative damage to cells by up to 90%. When researchers tested lignans on retinal cells, they found that these cells showed significantly less DNA damage, less inflammation, and higher survival rates. Think about that. The cells responsible for your vision lived longer simply because they were given protection from oxidative stress. This isn't speculation, this is documented cellular biology. But lignans do something even more extraordinary. They don't just neutralize free radicals, they also activate your body's own antioxidant defense systems. This means they turn on genes that produce protective enzymes inside your eyes. These enzymes patrol the retina like a security force, identifying and eliminating harmful molecules before they have the chance to cause long-term deterioration. Some studies even reveal that lignans can boost glutathione levels, one of the most powerful antioxidants in the human body, often called the master antioxidant. When glutathione levels rise, eye tissues gain the strength to repair themselves at a faster rate, regenerate damaged cells, and resist aging. This becomes even more critical when you consider the global rise in eye degeneration. According to leading ophthalmology research, more than 200 million people worldwide are currently at risk for age-related macular degeneration, a condition deeply rooted in oxidative damage. Once the macula begins to deteriorate, the world slowly fades. Straight lines warp, colors dim, and central vision collapses. But here's the astonishing truth. Individuals with higher antioxidant intake, especially lignans and vitamin E, show significantly lower rates of macular degeneration. Their vision remains sharper for longer, their retinal tissues remain stronger, and their risk of sudden vision decline is dramatically reduced. Flaxseed happens to be the richest dietary source of lignans in the world. Just 1 tablespoon contains up to 85 times more lignans than most other seeds. When these lignans enter the body, they begin traveling through the bloodstream, seeking out inflammation, neutralizing harmful oxidative byproducts, and protecting fragile tissues. They do this not only in the retina, but also in the cornea, the lens, and the optic nerve. And this protection begins within hours of consumption. Consider what happens to the lens of your eye over time. Ultraviolet radiation slowly oxidizes lens proteins, causing them to clump together. This is one of the primary causes of cloudy vision and cataract formation. But antioxidants like lignans help prevent these protein clumps from forming by stabilizing the lens environment and reducing oxidative stress before it snowballs into serious damage. Researchers have documented that higher antioxidant intake correlates with up to a 30% reduction in cataract risk. Again, not a drug, not surgery, not a synthetic chemical, just natural plant-derived antioxidants doing what nature designed them to do. And the cornea, the transparent front surface of your eye, contains some of the most sensitive nerve endings in the human body. When oxidative stress hits the cornea, inflammation flares, moisture evaporates, and discomfort intensifies. This is why people experience burning, itching, and dryness. But lignans have been found to reduce inflammatory markers in corneal tissue, calming irritation and supporting smoother, more comfortable vision. In some studies, flaxseed antioxidants helped restore the tear film stability, allowing moisture to remain on the eye's surface longer. But perhaps the most breathtaking discovery is the effect lignans have on the tiny blood vessels that feed the retina. These microvessels are easily damaged by oxidative stress, leading to poor circulation, nutrient deprivation, and eventual cell death. Lignans help protect these vessels, keeping them flexible, open, and fully able to deliver oxygen-rich blood to the tissues that need it most. Better circulation means more nutrient delivery. More nutrients mean stronger retinal cells. Stronger retinal cells mean clearer vision. When you consider all of this, the picture becomes clear. Your eyes are constantly under attack, and most people are doing nothing to defend them. They assume blurry vision, dryness, irritation, and fading clarity are normal parts of aging. They assume degeneration is unavoidable. But science tells a different story. Your eyes don't weaken because they want to. They weaken because their defenses fail. And lignans rebuild those defenses from the inside out. Flaxseed doesn't just add antioxidants to your diet. It supplies one of the most potent classes of antioxidants known to nutrition science. Compounds so powerful that they can alter gene expression, improve cellular resilience, and slow the biological aging of your eyes. Every spoonful becomes a protective force field, absorbing the very molecules that would otherwise steal your vision over time. Imagine being able to wake up with eyes that feel nourished instead of strained. Imagine reading without dryness, focusing without fatigue, and seeing the world with clarity preserved for decades to come. That is the silent promise hidden within flaxseed. Not a miracle, not hype, just powerful, measurable science working in your favor. Your eyes deserve protection. They deserve nutrition. They deserve a fighting chance against the forces that threaten to dim the world around you. And lignans, one of nature's most extraordinary antioxidants, are among the greatest gifts you can give them. All from one simple spoon of flaxseed, every day, every morning, a small habit that shields your vision from a lifetime of oxidative destruction. Every second of your life, your eyes are exposed to a world that is constantly aging them. You don't feel it happening, you don't see it happening, but deep inside the tiny cells of your retina, microscopic reactions are taking place. Reactions that can either preserve your vision or slowly destroy it. And one of the most powerful guardians protecting those cells is a nutrient that far too many people overlook: vitamin E. This single antioxidant is one of the most important yet underestimated nutrients for eye health. And flaxseed, the simple seed most people walk past without a second thought, contains a natural form of vitamin E that plays a critical role in preserving the clarity, sharpness, and longevity of your sight. To understand why vitamin E matters, imagine the eye as a fragile crystal exposed to heat, light, and oxygen. Over time, the crystal begins to cloud, crack, and weaken. This is exactly what happens to the human eye as it ages. Exposure to UV radiation, pollution, screen glare, and inflammation causes the proteins in the lens to oxidize, the tear film to thin, and the retinal cells to break down. Scientists call this oxidative degradation. You experience it as fatigue, dryness, dull colors, slow focusing, or that moment when you realize the world doesn't look as vibrant as it used to. But here's the truth: much of this damage is preventable. Vitamin E is the nutrient designed to stop this process in its tracks. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant, which means it embeds itself directly into the cell membranes of your eyes, forming a protective barrier against free radicals, those unstable molecules that steal electrons from your cells and rapidly accelerate eye aging. Free radicals are generated every single time you glance at a screen, step into sunlight, inhale polluted air, or experience stress. Studies show that the retina is one of the fastest aging tissues in the entire human body, and free radicals are the primary reason. Vitamin E neutralizes these radicals instantly, preventing them from destroying the lipids and proteins that keep your eyes functioning. One study published in the journal Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science revealed that vitamin E reduces the rate of lipid peroxidation in eye cells, meaning it helps stop the degeneration of the fats that keep the retina healthy. Without vitamin E, the retina becomes brittle and weak. With it, the retina stays flexible, nourished, and more capable of handling the daily stress of light exposure. This makes vitamin E one of the most essential nutrients for maintaining sharp vision well into old age. But the benefits go even deeper. The lens of your eye, responsible for focusing light, contains proteins that must remain clear and structured. When these proteins oxidize, they clump together. These clumps scatter light, creating glare, cloudiness, and eventually cataracts. Cataracts are now one of the leading causes of blindness worldwide. Yet research from the American Journal of Epidemiology found that people with higher vitamin E intake had a 20% to 30% lower risk of developing cataracts. This is not a minor improvement. This is a massive reduction in one of the most common causes of vision loss. Flaxseed is unique because it contains gamma-tocopherol, one of the most bioactive forms of vitamin E. Unlike synthetic supplements, the natural vitamin E found in flaxseed is embedded within healthy fats, allowing it to be easily absorbed into the eye's tissues. These fats act as a delivery system, carrying vitamin E directly into the retina, the lens, and even the tear glands. This is why flaxseed doesn't just support your eyes, it nourishes them at a cellular level. Researchers have also discovered that vitamin E plays a powerful anti-inflammatory role. Chronic inflammation inside the eye is a root cause of issues like blurred vision, sore eyes, and macular degeneration. Macular degeneration, the slow destruction of the central vision, is driven in part by oxidative stress and inflammation. Vitamin E helps reduce inflammatory cytokines inside the eye, calming the tissues and allowing the retina to repair itself. Studies from the Age-Related Eye Disease Study, AREDS, confirmed that antioxidants like vitamin E significantly slow the progression of macular degeneration in people at high risk. Think about what this means. The very nutrient sitting quietly inside flaxseed has been scientifically shown to slow down one of the most devastating eye diseases known to medicine. And yet most people never come close to consuming enough vitamin E to protect their eyes in the long term. Another shocking fact is that vitamin E strengthens the tiny blood vessels that feed the eye. These microscopic vessels supply oxygen and nutrients to the retina, which consumes more energy than almost any other organ in the body, even more than the brain. Oxidative stress can weaken these vessels, causing leaks, blockages, and circulation problems that starve retinal cells. But vitamin E helps stabilize the walls of these vessels, making them stronger and more resilient. Better blood flow means more oxygen, faster repair, and sharper vision. Imagine your eyes receiving cleaner, stronger, more efficient blood circulation every single day simply because you added a spoon of flaxseed to your routine. Over time, this improved nourishment can help preserve your ability to recognize faces, drive at night, read fine print, and see vivid colors that would otherwise fade. Vitamin E also plays an extraordinary role in hydrating the eye. The tear glands rely on antioxidant protection to function properly. When oxidation damages the tear film, it becomes unstable, evaporates too quickly, and leads to chronic dryness. Vitamin E helps the tear glands produce a smoother, more stable tear film, giving your eyes the moisture and comfort they need to stay clear. This is why many people notice reduced dryness and irritation after increasing their intake of vitamin E-rich foods. But perhaps the most remarkable part of this story is how little it takes to make a difference. 1 spoon of flaxseed contains enough vitamin E and supportive nutrients to begin strengthening your eyes from within. This isn't a supplement, this isn't a pill. This is nature's own protective molecule, delivered in a form your body knows exactly how to use. Your eyes do not lose their strength overnight. They decline slowly, silently, through years of nutritional neglect, oxidative stress, and unprotected exposure to the world. But the moment you begin feeding them the antioxidants they crave, something extraordinary happens. Cells begin to repair, tissues begin to strengthen, the lens remains clear, the retina becomes resilient, vision stabilizes. Vitamin E is one of the reasons flaxseed is more than just a food. It is a form of biological armor for your eyes. Every spoon is a shield. Every spoon is protection. Every spoon is an investment in the future clarity of your vision. And the science is undeniable. When you give your eyes the antioxidants they need, you give yourself the gift of seeing the world the way nature intended, clear, sharp, and vibrant for years to come.